By the spring of 1945, the most expensive and secretive gamble in history was about to pay off. The Manhattan Project, a top-secret $2 billion program, had successfully developed a new weapon, an atomic bomb. President Truman first learned of this project only after becoming president. Now, he alone would have to answer a single, terrifying question. Should the United States use this weapon of unimaginable power to end the war with Japan? Japan's military showed no signs of surrender. The battles for Iwo Jima and Okinawa had been horrifying previews of what an invasion of the Japanese mainland would cost. At Okinawa alone, the US suffered over 50,000 casualties, including more than 12,000 dead, facing an estimated 500,000 Purple Hearts prepared for the invasion of Japan. Military planners warned that the fight could drag on for another year, costing hundreds of thousands of American lives. In July 1945, Allied leaders met in Potsdam, Germany. They issued an ultimatum to Japan: surrender unconditionally, or face prompt and utter destruction. Japan's leadership ignored it, perhaps hoping for a negotiated peace brokered by the neutral Soviet Union. Truman left the conference with his mind made up, having given the Japanese what he considered a final, fair chance to avoid the coming devastation. On July 16, 1945, deep in the New Mexico desert, the scientists of the Manhattan Project tested their creation. At 5:29 a.m., the world's first atomic bomb, codenamed Gadget, was detonated. The explosion created a fireball that turned the desert sand to glass and unleashed the power of 1,000 suns. Robert Oppenheimer, its creator, recalled a line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita: "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." The weapon worked. On August 6, 1945, a B-29 bomber named the Enola Gay dropped, "Little Boy," over the Japanese city of Hiroshima. At 8:15 a.m., the bomb exploded with the force of 15,000 tons of TNT. In an instant, the city was vaporized. 70% of its buildings were destroyed. An estimated 80,000 people were killed instantly. The Japanese government did not surrender. 3 days later, on August 9th, a second B-29 Boxer dropped its payload on Nagasaki. The bomb, nicknamed Fat Man, was more powerful than the first. It killed another 40,000 to 70,000 people instantly. The sheer, horrific power of these two attacks had broken the back of Japanese resistance. By the end of 1945, the death toll in Hiroshima had risen to an estimated 140,000 from radiation sickness, burns, and other injuries. In Nagasaki, the final toll was at least 70,000. Nearly all of the dead were civilians. These attacks remain the only use of nuclear weapons in armed conflict, and their devastating human cost sparked a debate that continues to this day. Was it a necessary evil to save lives, or an unforgivable act of mass destruction? On August 15, 1945, Emperor Hirohito, in a historic radio address, the first time his people had ever heard his voice, announced Japan's unconditional surrender. His speech specifically cited a new and most cruel bomb as a key reason for ending the war. World War II was finally over. The atomic bomb ended World War II, but it ushered in the Cold War and a terrifying new age of nuclear proliferation. President Truman's decision, perhaps the most consequential in modern history, has been debated ever since. The lesson of the atomic bomb is that technology can outpace morality, and the power to destroy the world is a terrible burden. Just the grit and the grind.